Hey, what's good, Vet Bro Militia? It's your host over here, D-Lo the Vet Bro, also known as the Gunline Chief from the On the Gunline Podcast, coming to you with the new On the Gunline Podcast presents Vet Bro Reacts. So today I'm gonna go ahead and react to Americans Are Discouraging Military Service. This is by the homeboy who's funny on the TikToks and whatnot. Mandatory Fun Day. I know he was enlisted and then he went officer. I believe he was MI, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead and check out what he has to say regarding the Americans that are discouraging military service. As we all know, there's been quite a what's the word I'm looking for? I guess initiative or push to try to bring in more folks. But I wonder what his point of view is. Usually he's up there with with some funny content, but this one he seems like be a little more serious about. So I want to see what he's about, man. So without further ado, hey, if this is your first time here to the channel, do me a quick solid and hit that subscribe. If you dig what you saw, hit that thumbs up. If you didn't dig it, hit the thumbs down. Either way, as long as it shows some kind of activity, the algorithm likes it. Also, if you could just give me a comment as why you didn't like it, that would definitely help out. And if you did dig it, let me know why as well. Kind of like an AAR, man. Give me a sustain and give me an improve. If you want to find some content or you have any content that you want to go ahead and react to, send it over to me, man, on the gunline at gmail.com. That's on the gunline at gmail.com. I'm wondering if people are putting in the wrong address, like on the gum line, like on your teeth. But no, man, it's on the gun line. All right. Anyways, with that being said, let's go ahead and see what Mandatory Fun Day has to say regarding folks not joining the military. And just looking at the back, man, he's got a cool little coin holder up there. Nice little coin collection going too. Right on, right on, right on. Let's go.
Americans are discouraging their 17-year-old children and the young ones that they know from serving in the United States military. In a survey published by the Military Times, 54% of individuals polled said that they would discourage a 17-year-old relative from enlisting in the military.
Damn.
Interestingly enough,
That was said 54% would discourage. Damn.
two-thirds of the same individuals said they would encourage commissioning. Some of the reasons cited
Mm.
were politicizing of the military, the pullout of Afghanistan, public perception of the military and military service, dwindling
Hmm.
confidence in the United States military. The study found that Democrats are less likely than Republicans to encourage young people to join the United States.
That's pretty much a well-known thing that Republicans, conservatives are more considered more patriotic, I guess you could say, or love for the country more than the Democrats. This is just gonna be my guess. So take it for what it's worth. Democrats are more they're not that they don't like the country, they just want the government to run more. And anyway, they're just not very fond of the the demographic that usually joins the military. Honestly, let's be real about it. I've talked about it before. It's usually going to be your like Southern white conservatives. All right. They're the ones that end up joining the military and specifically going into those MOSs that are more consistent with combat arms. So, hi, honey. All right. Go. Daddy's recording. So, hey, honey, would you ever join the military? Okay. Yeah, she's only 11, so what does she know? But then again, at 11, I did want to join. She said no, just by the way. But anywho, with that said, yeah, those are some valid issues that are coming up that he's bringing about. So it's a 7 minute long video, almost 8 minute long. So I want to see what he has to say.
States military. And the article that contained the survey also took a look at certain negative and positive veteran stereotypes. Let's get into some of these reasons. Let's start out with the politicizing of the military, or the wokeness that some people seem to perceive in the United States
And that's
military.
what,
The United
so with that, that's what I'm talking about, where they're isolating or pushing away the usual demographic that willingly wants to join the army or the military. It's because of this wokeness.
States military has literally always been used as a political tool. Whenever we want to change cultural or societal norms, we do it in the military first. I think that the vast majority of Americans have at least a begrudging respect. Even if they don't necessarily agree with the current conflicts or what the military is currently doing, they have a begrudging respect for military service. I think back to when I first joined.
Right.
I was one of the last iterations coming through the United States Army basic combat training while Don't Ask, Don't Tell was in effect. While I was in AIT, it actually got repealed. I remember seeing the memo on the wall.
Hmm.
And I also remember being shocked that homosexual individuals couldn't serve. That was strange.
Okay, it's not that they couldn't serve openly. All right. It's not that they couldn't serve. We knew who the gay folks were. All right. We knew who they were. We knew what they did on the weekends. We didn't care, honestly. Now I'm not gonna lie, it did make me feel some type of way when I was in on deployment and a known homosexual who would be in the shower at the same time I was in there. It did make me feel some kind of way, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, I wasn't comfortable with it. Truth be told, I just wasn't comfortable with, a homeboy in there with me. And shout out to the gays that are serving, man. I mean, you guys have always been there and whatever I don't think what you do in your personal life needs to be known throughout the battery or the battalion or the brigade. You know what I mean? Whatever you do, you do. I mean, I know of one that used to like, dress as a woman. You know what I'm saying? And do his thing on the weekends out there well, I'm not gonna put that out, but they know who they are. And I either way, don't ask, don't tell wasn't it's just they weren't allowed to serve openly. All right. And yeah, I remember when they repealed it, and honestly, nothing changed except that. Well, what did change? That's where things started dwindling down. Like these, they started acting a little more on the fruity side per se. You know what I'm saying? But to each their own.
To me. I wasn't super familiar with military service based on my geographic location growing up. I'm from Oregon. Pacific Northwest is
Makes
not
sense.
super military heavy, but it was super
Very
interesting
hippie-ish.
seeing that. But going all the way back to desegregation, women in the military. Anytime that we want to change the perception of a specific demographic in society, often we try and do so in the military first. Military service shows that you can be part of a diverse team of individuals. You can come together to accomplish incredible things, objectives, goals.
So the problem that I have with what he's saying right here, I mean, it's 100% what he's saying is right. That you can work within a group or team that is diverse, right? The problem that comes into play is when you're frowned upon for having your own views upon that certain demographic. I'm expected to accept, their lifestyle. You know what I mean? Their form of behaviors and their way of thinking. However, they don't have to accept my form of thinking or my beliefs in my lifestyle. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm projecting mine forwardly or outwardly, but they're free to go ahead and project theirs outwardly. You know what I mean? But I mean, I don't know if that where he's going with it, but that's just my counter argument.
Altogether. It shows the ability to work with anybody in austere conditions, strenuous work hours,
Yeah,
and
for real.
just generally, you can kind of suck it up. When individuals were surveyed, 80% said that veterans were well disciplined, and 20% said veterans were aggressive. I am shocked that number is not higher. Anytime
Facts. I agree with you on that one, Pimp. I know at my job when I became a civilian, well, yeah, when I became back to the civilian sector, I was told that I was very aggressive. That I spoke with like if I was belittling people, which I didn't. I just spoke directly, and I had a little tolerance for complaining, and I would tell them like, I mean, if you're not willing to be part of the solution, then don't bring up a problem. You know what I mean? So, and because I said something like that, I was looked at as aggressive or that I thought I was better than everybody. It was never like that. But anywho, yeah, continue.
time we're looking at surveys, if you don't know what the pool of people polled was, it's hard to put a significant level of merit into it. And
Right.
that's not to say that the Military Times did a poor job. That's just to say anytime you're looking at data or statistics, you need to understand A, who's doing the study, and
Mm-hmm.
B, how much they collect. If you ask
Mm-hmm.
50 people what they think about the military, that's not representative of Americans.
Facts.
But if you ask 1,000 people from each state, that's likely far more reflective just based on the law of averages. Getting into the drawdown of Afghanistan,
Mm,
well, I think that anybody that has an opinion, anybody that wants to, armchair quarterback that
I'll
one,
do it.
if you don't have any leadership experience in the military,
I did.
it's hard for you to understand. And I'm not trying to disparage you or make you feel like your opinion is invalid or less. What I'm trying to say is that many of us don't have perspective. We don't have all the information as the average American. We don't.
Uh, I get what he's saying. He's giving the straight up political answer, I guess you would say. For me, I'll say that we messed that up. We fucked that up royally. Regardless of who would have been in office when that pullout happened, they would have caught shit. Whether it would have been Trump, whether it would have been Biden, or no matter what president it would have been, they would have caught flack for it. To me, it was just the way it was handled. Like just one day to the next, almost just like we're done, we're gone, and then to let the Talibanese people just go ahead and just take over, like for those of us that were out there, it felt like a slap in the face. Like, what the hell did we do all these 20 years there? That was a waste. That was a waste of lives, resources, money, time. It was just a waste. So I don't give a fuck what information they had or what information we lacked. The way it came about to be done was, for lack of better word, retarded.
Don't have the information that they had. The one that most confused me was a lack of confidence in the United States military. Right now, things are popping off
Have you not
all over the
seen our
world.
service
And
members on
wherever the
TikTok? You're a
United States
TikToker. Come on,
is,
sir.
people pay attention, specifically our adversaries. Anytime the United States sends any level of a force anywhere where our adversaries are making moves, our adversaries respond. They respond verbally or they mobilize forces. They know what we are capable of. And so the idea that Americans are not confident anymore in what the United States military can do is kind of confusing to me.
All right, let me try to unconfuse you, sir. If you look at the majority of these soldiers out there that are on the TikToks and social media, they're making an ass out of themselves. They go out there and they show that they're undisciplined. They show that they're going to be using this as a tactic, like like surprise, we're actually fucking fearless warriors. Gotcha. But no, these are just fools out there that are just acting retarded, being stupid on social media and talking down on how much the army sucks or the military sucks and how much they hate it, blah blah blah. So yeah, the confidence is not there because you don't see no hard charging, barrel chested motherfucking Americans saying, I'm ready for this shit. Let's go ahead and let's, bring them to me. They're and I can't blame the soldiers for being the way they are. I have to blame their leadership for allowing them to get that way, to become that undisciplined. And it starts from the beginning, and yeah, I'm a vet bro like a motherfucker, and I wear that title high and proud because I believe in standards. And one of the standards were, even when there was MySpace or Facebook, we didn't go out there putting dumb shit on the web as it is now, as it's been normalized. Like this trend of like, oh, I'm a soldier, look at me. But anyways, we all did goofy shit. 100%. Yes, we all let our hair down times and we do dumb shit, but we never posted it online for others to look down up or frown upon the military. And our adversaries, look at the recruiting tools that we had just a couple of years ago, where we were more focused on being fucking gender inclusive versus lethal. You know what I mean? So, sir, it's that type of shit right there that I believe has brought down the level of confidence within our soldiers. Now, when she hits the fan, do I believe that we're going to take care of business? Yeah, we got the tools needed to take care of the business. But do we have the operators needed to use those tools to function properly? You see what I'm saying? So, anywho, I see a video with a bunch of people saying, hell no, I wouldn't recommend this. Hell no, I wouldn't recommend that. First of all, why are you even putting that out there? Second of all, why don't you have pride in what you do? You know, Be proud of your service. Don't go out there talking shit about it. Anyway, that's just me.
Our adversaries certainly seem to be confident in what we can do. We're right around the 50th anniversary of the all volunteer force in our United States Armed Services. I believe the move to an all volunteer force is one of the best that the United States of
Agreed.
America has made in reference to our military. The United States Armed Forces are an expeditionary armed force, right? It's not for just the defense of our nation.
Which it
We
should
go
be.
places and we do things and we make the world a more secure and stable place.
Do we
Not
though?
everyone agrees, though, with what we are doing around the world. If you were
Facts.
to force people to serve, in my opinion, that is tyrannical. That is what authoritarian, tyrannical countries do.
And he is 100% right on that. I was one of those that at one time believed that we should have a mandated expectation of service by all citizens, but he makes a lot of sense in the fact that we should only have in the service those that want to be in the service. I do want to go ahead and piggyback on that though. Just because you want to serve doesn't mean you should serve. There's a lot of people that we all know that were in the military that have no business ever taking that oath of enlistment.
Now, there's lots of people that'll say, I think that everybody should have to serve a year in the United States Armed Forces. I don't agree. As it is now, there's plenty of service members who get to the active force and they decide, yeah, this isn't for me. This is not what I thought it would
Mm-hmm.
be. Most of them do their job, they get out, they serve honorably. Some
And those, sir, are the ones that I'm okay with. You know, that hey, do your job, get the hell out. But the ones that bring the confidence down to the military are the ones that voice their fucking opinions of how shitty they're having it. And you know, it's like a fucking a disease, man. Think about it. Oh man, I'm not even gonna say that because then just negativity begets negativity, and it became trendy to join the military. They let anyway. I'm gonna stop right there. Let's see what you got to say. Even just one bad service member can severely degrade a readiness and be a danger or detriment to the team. Amen. Agreed 100%.
of them, they do the bare minimum. They make our lives as leaders in the military way harder, way harder.
Leadership
If you were to
challenges.
force people to serve, especially during times of conflict and conflict that maybe not everybody agrees on, I believe the result would be in a significantly worse fighting force. You want everybody at a minimum to have chosen to be there. You want everybody at a minimum to have had that input. If you start forcing people in the military, I believe that it will degrade the lethality and readiness of
I
our
agree.
armed forces. And that is something that the United States of America and quite frankly, the world cannot afford. The study published found that individuals that held a negative view of veterans were far less likely to recommend military service. Shocker. Not surprising. Not surprising. I think that some negative stereotypes of
Hold on. Let me
veterans
bring it back a bit.
are maybe
I don't understand what he said.
far less likely to recommend military worse fighting force. You want everybody at a minimum to have chosen to be there. You want everybody at a minimum to have had that input. If you start forcing people in the military, I believe that it will degrade the lethality and readiness of
Okay.
our armed
So let
forces.
me
And
ask you,
that is
sir.
something that
So,
the United States
sir, with that, my question would be: what about those that they made the choice to get in, and then they don't want to do it no more, so they just start acting like shitbags, But I say lock their asses up personally, but that's just me.
of America and quite frankly the world cannot afford. The study published found that individuals that held a negative view of veterans were far less likely to recommend military service. Shocker. Not
So
surprising. Not surprising. I think that some negative stereotypes of veterans are maybe they're kind of our fault. Military and veterans, we lean into certain things that maybe we
agreed.
shouldn't always lean into. But
100% agree with what he just said. Let me go back to that little thing that he had written up there. What does that say? Many veterans seem to peacock that they are vastly different or even dysfunctional. 100% with that. I hate that shit. I've hated it since I seen it. Where like, dope doesn't play well with others. I'm a dysfunctional veteran. I hate that. I really, really personally dislike it. Hey, all you other vet bros that be going hard like that, handle it, baby. That's cool. Um, Yeah, we're veterans, yo. Yes, we dislike the civilian sector because of their complaining and their bitching and their groaning and whatnot. But we have to still learn to live amongst them. You know what I mean? You're not entitled, and that's the word I'm looking for. That a lot of them, a lot of veterans act entitled, as if they're like their opinion is more than someone else's that never served. Now, in certain circumstances, I can get that. All right. But it's always one of those where, as a veteran, I think that the Second Amendment, okay, first of all, the Second Amendment is not just for fucking veterans, and nobody gives a shit of your opinion just because you're a veteran on that. Now, if we're going to speak on veteran affair type issues, that's completely different. But yeah, dude, I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead and continue.
Lean into. But I also believe that many of the stereotypes, if not the vast majority of the stereotypes, are unwarranted. They're not. They have no merit. Similar to stereotypes in any other demographic. Veterans are disciplined. They can work on a team.
Oh no, sir. Some stereotypes are true about certain demographics. I'm just saying. Y'all know, certain people can't drive, certain people can't swim. Uh, I'm just saying, they're out there, and certain people don't know how to add spices to their food and like it bland. And you know what's funny is I never mentioned one race, but y'all already know which one I'm talking about. Eating every single one of those stereotypes exist for a reason because they're true.
They can communicate effectively. They're punctual. And quite frankly, a veteran, somebody who served honorably in the United States Armed Forces, more likely than not, is going to get the job done. They're going
Facts.
to figure out how to get the job done, whether they're resourced or manned appropriately or otherwise. War-induced mental illness stereotypes.
Oh, dude, this is a good one right here. Thank you for bringing that one up, sir. So the PTSD one, that one has become like a badge of honor for people to wear. It's like they want it's dude, not everybody that joined the military has PTSD, all right? Not everybody that joined hear it again. Just because you signed up for the military and you went through boot camp and you went through your first duty station does not mean that you have PTSD. But you have a lot of jokers out there that want to go ahead and claim it. And again, like you were saying, sir, they're peacocking. All right. They wear it like a badge of honor. And then there's those that, I don't want to say suffer from it, but live with it, and they they try to exist within the populace, so now did everybody that went to war suffer some kind of PTSD? I can't say. I can't say. I believe that if you went through some traumatic shit though, that you more than likely do. You know what I'm saying? But if you were like Bob on the Fob and it was just another day and y'all never got hit, and hey, more power to you, man. Be glad, be happy, man. I don't see why there's like this big fucking excitement over getting that diagnosis, aside from being financially um, compensated. Other than that, it. I don't know why people would go out of their way to clog up the veterans affair system. We already have it as fucked up as it is, anyways, and try to get that on there. Now, with that being said, there are times that people can get PTSD from without even being deployed, y'all. For example, you have MST, right? For the females and males, that's that sexual trauma, yo. And then not only that, I mean, dude, I remember prior to going on my first deployment, there was a dude that got ran over by a Bradley, bro. As we were going on Railhead. And apparently, long story short, tracks ran him over. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be traumatic to someone, especially if they saw it, especially if they were part of it, especially if they were the driver of that. Can you believe it? I mean, anyways, that's going to give some kind. Now, it doesn't have to be necessarily post-traumatic stress disorder. It could be some kind of a depression that leads to it. So anyway, The reason I brought this up is because a lot of motherfuckers, for some reason, think that just because they're in the military, all of a sudden they're diagnosed with PTSD. No, no, no. Motherfuckers yelled at you during boot camp. Boo fucking who. That happens. I'm gonna stop before I start ranting.
Mental illness stereotypes were key in this survey. Many individuals feared that the majority of veterans have some kind of PTSD and that it is debilitating to them later in life. My experience with veterans, even veterans with severe PTSD, is many can manage it extremely well. For the average American that doesn't understand PTSD, they just hear buzzwords used in the news.
Mm-hmm.
It may look worse than it is. But many people, even outside the military, have PTSD from traumatic events, and you're not even aware of it. If somebody is in
Say it louder for the people in the back.
significant car accident, they may have PTSD associated with that. That's many people, and
Mm-hmm.
you probably don't even know. But listen, as always, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this? Is there any merit to this? Has the military gone woke? Has the
Yes.
military been politicized too much? Are the
Yes.
reasons cited in this survey for people discouraging individuals from serving in the military, are they valid? I want to hear your thoughts.
All right, sir. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Let me go ahead and close
Hey
this
man,
out.
sorry, I gotta go. Yeah,
Shit. Stop. All right. I appreciate you, sir. And let me go ahead and maximize myself. All right. So hey, yeah, that was a cool little video by him. I do think that, in my personal opinion, in my experience, it does seem that the military itself, not the military, but the powers that be, it's not the military itself, it's the government that pushes these agendas to uh, be so inclusive that they're exclusive, that or they're becoming they're starting to exclude their prime freaking target. All right. When it comes down to it, at the end of the day, we are a force that should be used to murk people. That's what we do, is murk people. All right. There's a reason you learn how to shoot a rifle. There's a reason that you learn certain tactics, and there's a reason for everything that you do in the military, right? Okay, so with that being said, I don't care if you're a supply S1, freaking whatever your soft skill MOS is, or your hard charging infantryman. Your job at the end of the day is to take your enemies out. That's what it's for. So that's the type of person that we want in the military, and if we're suffering so bad for numbers, let's start going into the system. And when I mean the system, I mean the joint, into the jail system. I'm sure there's a lot of candidates, and I'm talking about for the next iteration of war that comes, because there's going to be another one. We all know it. Let's be clear on that, especially with this being election season. Y'all know what's coming. Anywho, mandatory fun day. I appreciate your pod or whatever you do, your YouTube channel. I love your TikTok, man. You make me laugh all the time. I'm just a small little peon, and I'm not doing what they call cloud chasing. I like your content, and I wanted to hear what you had to say. So if you get to watch this, right on, man. Cool beans. Maybe you could bring my channel up too. Yay, yay. With that being said, yo, this is D-Lo the Vet Bro, about to let you go. Let me know what y'all thought of this reaction. What I'm wrong on, what I'm right on. Hey, at the end of the day, I'm thick skinned. You know what I'm saying? I could take it. Uh, just come at me with why I'm wrong, what your opinion is. All right. Anywho, with that being said, I'll catch y'all on the next one. D-Lo the Vet Bro, out. Deuces, y'all. Shit. I said deuces. I don't even know how to stop this shit on time. All right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. All right. Later, y'all.